Hello and welcome to MTG808Junior. I'm Sean Pottinger, and I'm here today to talk to you about a new format that I've been kicking around in the back of my mind. So right now, I've got the standard pauper youth tournaments that I've been running, been consistently getting around 10 to 12 kids, which is a number that I'm really happy with. I don't foresee the clubs growing between now and the beginning of next school year. But my goal for the time being is to help these kids figure out where they want to, what interests them most about the Magic community. So for that reason, that question can be answered in so many different ways. And my personal perspective comes from a very competitive lens. That's just the way that I've always interacted with the Magic community, or the way that I've interacted with the Magic community the most is from a competitive standpoint. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my ideas in terms of moving forward on that, but I know that not all the kids are competitive. They don't have competitive aspirations. So at the same time that I'm coming up with these competitive ideas, I definitely want to know if anyone listening has any other ideas for other aspects of the game to become more accessible to the kids. But that being said, the focus for today's video is this new format that I've cooked up, and I'm sure that somebody else has done similar things before, but I want to try it out with the students that I work with in the last couple weeks of school. It's fourth quarter now, so we've got about 6 weeks left of school. But I'm calling it Block Pauper Cube Drafting, and that might not be the best name for it, but that's what I'm calling it for now. If you think of a better name for it, let me know. But what Block Pauper Cube Drafting is, it's not exactly cube because there's more than one copy of any given card. But what I've done is I took Kaladesh Block, so Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. I took 4 of each common from Aether Revolt and 2 of each common from Kaladesh, and just sleeved them up and made a draftable cube out of those cards. And the goal with doing this is really to get the kids playing more games of Magic. I think that standard pauper, like at a certain point, without a robust metagame, it's hard to prepare for tournaments without a robust metagame. So like the kids all have their deck that they've built. They might make a couple changes between tournaments, but there's not too much brewing going on. Like there's some kids that try to do a new strategy each time, but a lot of the kids just like pick their deck, make a couple changes between each tournament, and just try to hone that. So the metagame at this point, I think, is only going to evolve if people start gunning for specific people, which has started happening to a degree. But I think that getting the kids the skills that they need to start pushing the metagame out from where it is lies unlimited. So, from a competitive standpoint, I think that drafting is just, and doing a lot of drafting specifically, is how you understand the most important cores of the game, right? Drafting, it's combining deck building, it's combining card evaluation, it combines like good solid gameplay, right? You almost always end up with like a mid-range deck versus a mid-range deck, so like the gameplay is usually very deep, right? Tempo matters, card advantage matters, archetypes matter, identifying if you're the aggressor, the defender, all of that takes place in limited, right? Standard is, I think LSV framed this difference very clearly. Standard is very much about recognizing play patterns, right? There's clearly the best cards in Standard, there's the best archetypes, the best deck lists don't vary too much from one another, and it's more about just knowing the play patterns very, very well. But you have to scaffold up to that point with kids that are just learning the game. And I think that limited is the way to do that. So having this Block Pauper Cube Draft box is helping me to deal with the barrier of drafts just being expensive, right? Each kid buying 3 packs, dealing with money in school clubs is messy. I try to keep the tournaments cheap for the kids, so if I were to run real drafts with them, it wouldn't be the most sustainable thing on my part. Like, I have enough product that I could run a number of drafts with the kids, real drafts, but I think that it costs enough on my end that I want to make sure that they're ready for it before I start giving away drafts, like 8-person drafts or 10-person drafts, which I think would be a good way to use my packs. Like the quests, one kid so far has turned in a couple quests, and I've been really happy with it, but getting the rest of the kids to turn in quests has been hard, and I think that it just feels like homework. It's like you have to be really passionate about the game to want to write something about it, or you have to really like writing. So it feels like homework to most of the kids. So a couple packs incentive to write a paper is not a whole lot unless they already care really passionately about what they're writing about. So just building interest is the goal with this Block Pauper Cube Draft, and I think that it'll make the game not presentable, but accessible like a board game, right? Like, the kids at Nanakuli have really been liking playing the DC deck builder game by Cryptozoic. They just really like that engine, right? And that's drafting. That's drafting. It only takes about an hour to play, right? Usually less than an hour. So drafting is a little bit bigger of a time commitment, but there is a lot of payoff right then for playing the game, right? You can sit down with 8 people for 3 hours and draft, and it's great. So I have the Pauper Cube Draft, the Pauper Cube built, the Block Pauper Cube. Yes, Block Pauper Cube. So I have the Block Pauper Cube built right now, and I'm going to be showing it to the high school kids tomorrow, see what they think about it. If this ends up being a good idea, if they get excited about it, then I'll start seeing how we can get the middle school kids involved in this in any way. But I want to know what you think, right? Like, is limited the best way to teach these skills, to have kids practice these skills, to get familiar with these concepts of like card evaluation, tempo, archetypes, deck building, and what do you think of this idea? So that's what I've come up with. I'm going to be trying it out. I'll keep the channel posted on how it turns out. But I'm really optimistic about it, and just want to know what other people think so that I can do my best to make it better. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you later.